Everybody out. Go home.
You there. Mind your manners. You can't break in here like this. It's a concert.
They're burning the synagogue. They'll be here next. The Vada sent me. Go home.
The Vada? But who burned the synagogue?
Arrow Cross. What are y'all sitting here for? Go home! And lock your doors. Hannah, I'll take you home. Come on.
No. Oh, no. No.
Come on.
Hannah.
But the Germans said we'd be safe.
Yeah, like the 12,000 they shipped out last week.
Hey, you follow, whatever your name is. How do we know we can trust him?
We can. He has friends. They're fighting for us.
Friends. Zionist hoodlums.
Mickey, what do we do?
Follow me. I know the back alleys.
Eichmann told the council we would be safe. We would be safe if we followed orders. We are Hungarians.
Follow me.
The Fuhrer will tolerate no further delays in eliminating Jewish sabotage.
Colonel Eichmann.
There are still 250,000 Jews in Budapest, including 3 individuals whose wealth and power you personally continue to shield.
I really must protest. Colonel Eichmann, I was an anti-Semite before you were born. I bow to no one in my distaste for the chosen people. I drafted Hungary's best, most rigorous anti-Jewish laws. But death camps like Auschwitz were never what I had in mind.
Auschwitz. No. Even our enemies, by their silence, acknowledge that we are right about the Jew.
Colonel, it is tradition in our country to leave all matters of commerce and finance to the Jew. And I am not going to violate this ancient Hungarian tradition. Certain Jews...
All Jews must go. You will not be allowed to interfere any longer with deportations.
Not be allowed? I will not be spoken to.
The Fuhrer demands a favorable ruling from your cabinet. The deportations will be intensified. The final solution has been set in motion.
Your behavior was outrageous. You humiliated your mother. It's a good thing von Fraund is a tolerant man.
Tolerance? Germany is collapsing. He needs your money. For all those ambitious new projects such as Auschwitz.
Raoul.
Is that really a good investment, Uncle?
Oh, Raoul, please.
You're not only impertinent, you're naive. Of course we do business with the Germans. Who hasn't? But we are also working closely with the anti-Hitler movement. Banking is not a business for moralists. And you certainly demonstrated that when we sent you to Haifa in '37.
Somehow I wasn't made to sit behind a desk and say no to people.
But instead of calculating exchange rates, you brewed it into your wine glass and talked philosophy with your new friends.
Brewed? We did that some. We also talked about movies and women.
Oh, please stop, both of you. Raoul, with your goading. And Jacob, you do make Raoul out such a dilettante. It simply isn't true. He worked very well in Haifa. He always works well. At the university and as an architect. I thought his plans for the new spa were quite stunning. The fact that you and your brother rejected them tells more about your own limitations than about Raoul's.
The bath he designed for it was outrageous.
It was brilliant.
Not really, Mother. But my quick cork, that was brilliant. Popped right out of the bottle without a corkscrew. And without a single customer among wine merchants everywhere. But was I discouraged? Never. I went right on to cheap Japanese zippers, which led directly to my current involvement with the Middle European Trading Company, n'est-ce pas? Where I'm a leading authority on the importation of smoked goose breast and pickled cucumbers.
Kalman Lauer is a generous man, and his philanthropic zeal has led him to offer you a desk and a phone, and to send you off to any place where your gift of languages could be useful to him.
Not to mention your talent for locating the wild truffle.
A talent I share with rooting hogs.
Raoul, you said you were drilling your home guards this afternoon. Can you drop me off in town?
Yes.
Don't turn away from this, Mai.
I'm not turning away from anything.
Please don't deny it. You have confided to me your sorrow at Raoul's indifference.
Indifference?
Indifference towards having a worthy career. And that's a source of sorrow for me, too.
Uncle, Just the opposite may be true. I have felt so keenly the enormous advantages I came into, the privilege, the love that has surrounded me. And I'm afraid I've made so little of it all that I find myself going about my business in the middle of a nightmare, trading shrewdly for shipment of wild truffles in countries where people are herded like cattle into freight cars and gas chambers.
We can't change the world. The war is practically over. The nightmare will end. But if you go on wandering through life in search of perfect justice, you'll starve, my boy.
Swedes don't starve, Uncle. They're neutral. Especially Wallenbergs.
The assignment requires an experienced diplomat.
It also calls for a persuasive one, Doctor, and it looks like our man just qualified himself.
Huh? Once Raoul makes a commitment.
Now, just for your information, our American ambassador has talked to your foreign ministry, and we're sure that they'll respond favorably.
Oh, Raoul, you're improving. Only 25 minutes late.
My apologies, Governor.
Eva Olsen, my friend Raoul Wallenberg.
How do you do?
I believe you already know Dr. Price.
Always a pleasure, Dr.
Indeed,
Price.
sir.
Well, I hear that we're practically fellow Americans. Well, you spent 5 years in Michigan, didn't you?
Much more. Maine to Mexico.
Nice to see you, sir. Champagne?
Beer, please. My Champagne cousins own the hotel, so the employees are under the misconception that I have some share in the Wallenberg fortune.
There?
Thank you. Skål.
Skål. As you know, Mr. Olsen's with the War Refugee Board set up by President Roosevelt.
Yes, we're looking for someone to represent us in Budapest.
Mr. Lara has told me that the purpose of your organization is to save the 250,000 Jews left in Hungary.
Then you can understand why it is so important to choose the right man.
Dr. Price is head of the Jewish committee here in Stockholm.
Yes, as foreigners, we thought it proper to consult with an advisory group.
I've told Mr. Olsen about the many trips you've taken for me to Budapest. For business as well as in search of my wife's family. He knows the city. He has contacts.
But, Dr. Price still has his doubts about me.
Only about your seriousness, Mr. Wallenberg.
If I am selected, and if the Foreign Office agrees to give me the latitude I need, I would be relentless, gentlemen.
You'll be a fully accredited Swedish diplomat attached to the legation.
What the mystery writers call a cover.
Precisely. Now, my contact tells me that your country is ready to increase its representation.
And they're fully aware of the purpose you mentioned, to save Jews?
Cautiously aware, I'd say.
I'm told even Swedish Jews are cautious. That they occasionally suffer what my American friends call the Mayflower complex.
Which is?
The fear of crowding the boat if too many more Jews come here. Tell me, Doctor, would it militate against me if you knew I would go to any lengths to save lives in Budapest, including the promise of Swedish citizenship to as many Jews as possible?
I would answer saying that you have expressed your seriousness most eloquently.
Amen to that.
It is dreadful, quite dreadful. It won't do at all. It doesn't fit. None of it fits. The whole of it is just one long piece of green.
You are like a little boy with a new soldier suit.
Look at all this.
Stand still. Gabor, we must get this right.
God, I adore you.
If the jacket isn't right, it must go back to the tailor.
The fit isn't right. All the decent tailors in Budapest were Jews.
Where, Gabor? Where have they all gone?
Who knows? They're such a mysterious breed.
I don't know. I've met so few Jewish people.
It's one of the advantages of a convent upbringing.
3 successive convents. You can't imagine what a welcome sight you were after all those sisters.
Ah, and I thought it was the Italian men who suffered by comparison.
So they did, my love.
Actually, this uniform is quite good for me. And the armband, it gives it some flair.
Panache.
Yes. And how grateful I am to your cosmopolitan background. You were taught not only to speak French, but to make love like the French.
Such things cannot be taught, Gabor. Isn't the green a bit poisonous?
Green is green.
What do the crossed arrows stand for?
Now that is an old Magyar symbol. Honor, courage, virtue. Supremacy over Bolshevism and the Jewish menace.
Why are they a menace?
That is enough about politics for one day.
And if I don't ask, how will I ever learn?
You've already filled your pretty head with more than enough questions.
Gabor, I have one more question.
If you must.
What did Monsignor Rota mean when he asked God to forgive everyone who kept silent about the Jews?
The nuncio is a meddlesome old woman.
Does that invalidate his prayers?
And that is a second question.
Gabor, if what he implies has actually happened to those people...
Those people are unworthy of another moment's time, as our senile regent will learn shortly.
Gabor!
Yes! Eichmann is losing patience with Admiral Horthy for trying to suspend Jewish transports.
Horthy is trying as well as Rota.
It's my feeling the Germans will soon replace the old man with one of our people, the Arrow Cross, which would make your husband the new foreign minister.
You, Gabor? The foreign minister?